Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your ma'am Monica Manchanda, and today we will be discussing 25 most important MCQs from the chapter The French Revolution. If you are new here, kindly subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Thank you. So we will quickly begin with the question answers. Here you can see on your screen a flow diagram from your NCERT textbook. आप अपनी स्क्रीन पर एक फ्लो डायग्राम देख रहे होंगे, आपके एनसीईआरटी की टेक्स्ट बुक से है ये, वेर इन यू कैन सी द 3 एस्टेट्स. आप यहाँ पे 3 एस्टेट्स देख सकते हैं, द फर्स्ट एस्टेट, सेकेंड एस्टेट एंड द थर्ड एस्टेट. एंड जस्ट क्विकली हैव अ लुक एट इट because the first 7 questions are based on this picture. This is a very important picture from your exam point of view also, because many 1 mark questions can be framed from this picture alone, like who were the part of the first estate, who were the part of the second estate. So you should be well aware of all these things. So let me just quickly jump into the first question. I'll read out the question for you. Study the picture shown above and answer the following questions 1 to 7. Like I told you, the first 7 questions are related to the picture, and thereon all the others are part of the chapter. Okay, first question. The French society was divided into how many estates? So right now I just now told you the French society was divided into 3 estates. So the first, the second and the third. Coming to the second question. Who was a part of the first estate? So who was part of the first estate? So first estate comprised of the priests, the clergy, whichever word is there in your option. You can choose priest or the clergy. Like we have priest and pandits in Hinduism, so even Christians used to have priest, like they do have priest right now also. So as you know that France was a predominantly Christian country, so that's why the first estate comprised of the priest or the clergy. Let's come to the third question. The nobility was a part of which estate? So now we are done with the first estate, and we know that the third estate comprised of the workers and businessmen. So that leaves us with this option, that the nobility was part of the second estate. The fourth question. Were all the members of the third estate poor? क्या सभी थर्ड एस्टेट के मेंबर्स थे वो गरीब थे? Yes, no, don't know. So you have to choose the option. The answer is no. Now why do I say no? If you have read this picture carefully, see that within the third estate some were rich and others were poor. How to see the 3 estates? At the top level you see the big businessmen, merchants, court officials and lawyers. At the second level, that is below them, you see the peasants and the artisans. And at the lowest level, you will see the small peasants, landless labor and servants. So, the third estate was not predominantly poor. Okay, some were rich. So, some were rich. So, that is why the answer for this question would be that not all the members were poor. So, some were rich. Okay. Now, so the answer is no. Let's come to question number 5. Who enjoyed privileges from birth? Who enjoyed privileges from birth? मतलब कि जन्म से ही, पैदा होते ही जो privileges थे, कुछ विशेष अधिकार जो थे वो किसको प्राप्त थे? Okay, so which estate? Was it the first estate? Was it the second estate? Or was it both A and B? So we know this, the first and the second estate were the privileged ones. So the option will be C, both A and B. Okay. Now let's come to the 6th one. Who had to bear the burden of paying the taxes? So जो टैक्स भरने का सारा बर्डन होता था वो किसके ऊपर था? अभी हमने बात करी, like the first and the second estate, they enjoyed privileges from birth. One of the privileges that they enjoyed was that they were exempt from paying taxes. उनको टैक्स पे नहीं करना होता था. तो कौन सी estate बची? थर्ड बची. तो the third estate had to pay the taxes. The 7th question. Who among the following were part of the third estate? तो थर्ड estate का जो पार्ट थे इनमें से कौन थे? नोबिलिटी नहीं है, हमें पता है क्योंकि ये सेकेंड estate में थे. ठीक है. लैंडलेस लेबरर्स है, बिग बिजनेसमैन भी है. So that leaves us with D option, B and C both. You see this? So B and C both were part of the third estate. Alright, so we are done with the questions which were related with the picture. Now we are on to the 8th question. On 14th of July 1789, the people of the third estate stormed into which jail or prison? So you read this when you started with this chapter, right? How did the French Revolution begin? So it was storming of the Bastille. You remember this? So it was 14th of July 1789. So you have to remember the name. Next question. Who was the ruler of France during the French Revolution of 1789? So Napoleon came later. Robespierre came later. So it was Louis XVI. Okay, we know that he and his policies were the reason that this French Revolution started. People were not happy with his rule at all. ठीक है, लोग खुश नहीं थे लुई 16 के रूल से. ठीक है. Now coming to the 10th question. On what charges was the French ruler Louis XVI guillotined? So guillotined means like his head was beheaded. सर धड़ से अलग कर दिया गया था. ठीक है. So why is this word? Because it was done with the help of this machine which was known as the guillotine. Okay. And now what were the charges based on which he was guillotined? The answer is not increasing the taxes, not for his failure to manage the crumbling economy of France. These were the reasons, but the charge which was put on him was of treason. What is treason? Treason is when you betray your own country. Okay, जब आप अपने देश के साथ गद्दारी करते हो, that is that. So Louis XVI was charged for that because he not only didn't do anything for his people, didn't care for their well-being, he also dragged France into many wars outside. So he was charged with treason. You have to remember this. Next question. When did Napoleon Bonaparte declare himself as the Emperor of France? Napoleon ने अपने आप को किंग या एम्प्रर कब घोषित किया था फ्रांस का? This was in 1804. Okay, you remember 1804 with another thing, which is that Napoleon Code, the Civil Code of France. Do you remember this? You have to remember this date. This is important from both the things. I mean, for both the things. For when he ascended the throne as the Emperor of France, declared himself rather. So it was in 1804, and also when did he make the Civil Code? That was also in 1804. I hope you are able to understand. I'm trying to give you explanation also for every answers that we can see for each question, right? So if you have any doubts or any question, please do write in the comment box. I will be very happy to answer your queries. And if you understand this, do write that also. Okay. 12th question. The members of the third estate met at the open tennis court of Versailles and declared themselves as the dash. So third estate ने meeting करी थी एक, remember? They met at the open tennis court of Versailles and they declared themselves as something. So what was that? It wasn't the estate general. Why? Estate general नहीं थी ये, because estate general was actually a meeting of all the three estates when the king called them to discuss issues, right? So this can't be. National Convention, no, this is also not. It was the National Assembly. The third estate called themselves as a National Assembly. You know this term assembly. Assembly is the term which we use, like for example, we use for legislative assembly. So what does legislative assembly do? It makes laws. Okay, जैसे हमारी विधान सभा है ना, तो it makes laws. So they declared them as National Assembly because they were not ready to accept King Louis as the sole ruler of France. Okay, so they declared themselves a National Assembly and they wanted to curb the power of the ruler in France. Okay, and they wanted to bring in a new constitution. Next. In which book did Rousseau mention about his thoughts on one man, one vote? रूसो की कौन सी किताब में उन्होंने वन मैन वन वोट के थॉट के बारे में, विचार के बारे में लिखा था? सो इट वॉज द सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. ठीक है, वन मैन वन वोट वॉज द डिमांड ऑफ द थर्ड स्टेट व्हेन दे मेट फॉर द स्टेट जनरल मीटिंग. उन्होंने लुई 16 को बोला था कि हमें वन मैन वन वोट वाला जो ये प्रिंसिपल है, ये शुरू होना चाहिए स्टेट जनरल में। मतलब कि अगर तीनों स्टेट के जितने भी मेंबर्स आते हैं, हर एक इंडिविजुअल को वोटिंग का राइट मिलना चाहिए, ना कि एक स्टेट, दो स्टेट, तीन वोट नहीं होनी चाहिए टोटल। दे वांटेड ऑल 300 and 600 votes. Okay, because I told you this, first state had 300 members, second state also had 300 members, and third state had 600 members for the state general meeting. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, so now let's come to the next question. Louis XVI belonged to which dynasty? Louis XVI belonged to which dynasty? So this one also, you know, it is the Bourbon dynasty, not the Ottoman. Ottoman was the term used for the Turks. Okay, so he belonged to the Bourbon dynasty. Let's come to the 15th question. I don't know, I'm keeping my pace, not too fast, not too slow, because it's just the MCQs. I'm stopping wherever I have to explain you things. Okay, right. What were the principles of the French Revolution? French Revolution के जो सिद्धांत थे, क्या principles थे, किन सिद्धांतों पर ये revolution शुरू हुई, या इस revolution से कौन से सिद्धांत सामने आए? So were liberty, equality, monarchy? The moment you see the word monarchy, no, because French Revolution was against monarchy. Okay, liberty, equality, yes, but ये नहीं है तो फिर A नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, तीनों ऑप्शन सही होने चाहिए. Then come to the second one, liberty, equality, fraternity. Yes, okay, liberty means what? Freedom. Equality is like everybody is equal in the eyes of law, and fraternity is brotherhood. Okay, भाईचारा होना चाहिए सब में. So this is the one. ये थर्ड वाला भी नहीं है. लिबर्टी, इनइक्वालिटी, अनडेमोक्रेटिक. जहाँ पे इनइक्वालिटी और अनडेमोक्रेटिक आ गया तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दोज कांट बी द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ द फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन. दे वर स्टैंडिंग अगेंस्ट इट, है ना. तो हमारा ऑप्शन है ऑप्शन बी. Coming to the 16th question, just a few questions left. Who was the leader of the Jacobin Club? So Jacobin Club का जो leader था, okay, who led the Jacobin Club, who was he? He was not Brissot, he was not Napoleon, it was Maximilien Robespierre. Okay, Maximilien Robespierre. You know him because he was the one who started with the reign of terror in France. You remember this? Because the next question is related to that. Which period is known as the reign of terror in French history? Okay, in Hindi it is known as आतंक का काल, reign of terror, आतंक का काल. तो ये रॉबस्पियर से ही जुड़ा है वर्ड, आपको ये याद रखना है. एंड द डेट वॉज 1793 से 94 तक. ठीक है, आतंक के काल में और इन द रेन ऑफ टेरर व्हाट हैपेंड वाज एनीबडी हु स्पोक अगेंस्ट जैकोबिन्स, रॉबस्पियर, देयर डिसीजंस, ओके, they were guillotined. Okay, they were put to death, right? So that is why this period of history, French history, is known as the reign of terror. So many a times you get this question in your paper, what was the reign of terror? It can come as one mark question. It can come as one mark question as what was the period of the reign of terror, or who is associated with the reign of terror. So you have these answers: Robespierre 1793 to 94. Okay. Next question. What was the main cause of the French Revolution? So there were many causes. So we are looking at the causes from among these. Let's see. Increasing unemployment. Yes, this was one of the reasons. Increasing of taxes by Louis XVI. This was also another reason. Deplorable economic condition of France. That means very bad economic condition of France. The economy was in shambles. बहुत आर्थिक व्यवस्था जो थी फ्रांस की खराब थी. Shortage of bread. People were starving. People were actually standing in queues. लंबी लाइनों में लगे हुए थे लोग ब्रेड लेने के लिए, और ब्रेड नहीं मिल रही थी उन्हें, भूखे मर रहे थे लोग. ठीक है, एंड राजा उनके लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहा था. सो आई थिंक ऑल द थ्री आर द कॉजेज ऑफ द फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन. सो वी विल गो विद द all the four, sorry. So we will go with the E option, all of the above. जब भी आपके एग्जाम में कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है wherein you will see कि सारे ऑप्शंस लग रहे हैं मुझे, तो all of the above पे आपने टिक करना होएगा. कभी कभी ऐसे ऑप्शन देते हैं जो कोई भी नहीं होता है, तब आपके पास एक ऑप्शन वहाँ पे और होता है कि इनमें से कोई नहीं. तो बड़े ध्यान से आपने अपने क्वेश्चंस को पढ़ना है. ठीक है, एंड यू विल बी एबल टू आंसर MCQs जब आपने अच्छे से उस टॉपिक के बारे में पढ़ रखा होएगा. तो अपनी NCERT की बुक को ज़रूर अच्छे से पढ़ के जाएँ, एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू के लिए भी और अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए भी, तभी आप MCQ क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं. ओके, नेक्स्ट. विच वॉज द रिलीजियस टैक्स? So there were like main taxes, two types of taxes. Indirect taxes was also one of them, but the tithe was one of the taxes, which was religious tax, which the especially the peasants had to pay directly to the church. Okay, tithe was actually paid to the state, to the king. Okay, but this was actually paid to the church by the peasants. Okay, so this was actually 1/10 of what they produced. It used to go to the church. So this is the religious tax, tithe. Next, what is Marseillais? So now Marseillais is from the word Marseille, okay, and Marseille was a is a place in France. So I have already given you a hint. So this is the national anthem of France. So what happened was that during the French Revolution, when the soldiers were marching from Marseille to Paris, okay, so they used to sing patriotic songs. So one of them was Marseillaise. So that is how this became the national anthem of France. Okay. So today also this is the national anthem of France. Okay. Next. In which year did the National Assembly prepare the draft of the French Constitution? So it was 1791. Okay. This was the time when you have to remember one or two things for this. That number one, in 1791 they prepared the draft of the French Constitution. In 1791 they decided who will be voting. So you have to remember, and the next question is related to that. So I'll jump to that question right away. To whom did the French Constitution of 1791 gave the status of active citizens in France? ठीक है, तो there were two types of citizens. One was active, one was inactive. तो एक्टिव वही होंगे ना जो एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे होंगे, है ना. तो वो कौन थे? वर दे ऑल मैन अबव द एज ऑफ 25 ईयर्स? जस्ट हाँ, वर दे ऑल मैन अबव द एज ऑफ 25 ईयर्स? नो, बिकॉज यू सी दिस वर्ड ऑल, सो दिस इज रॉन्ग. वर दे ऑल मैन एंड विमेन above the age of 25 years? No, because you know one thing, women were not given the status of active citizens. So that means women were not given the right to vote. Okay, so both the options are wrong. Third option is all men above the age of 25 years who paid minimum 3 days of wage earnings as tax. मतलब कि 3 दिन की मजदूरी जितना वो जो कमाते थे वो एज टैक्स अगर वो स्टेट को पे करते थे और वो 25 ईयर्स या उससे अबव की एज के थे, ऐसे आदमियों को ही एक्टिव सिटीजन्स का दर्जा मिला था, स्टेटस मिला था. ठीक है, सो मतलब वो वोटिंग राइट भी उनको मिला था, विमेन को नहीं मिला. ठीक है, सो this was one of the things that you have to remember about the French Constitution of 1791, and that is the reason why women formed their own political clubs, and they wanted that the convention, the French convention, the national convention should also treat them as equal in political status with the men in the French society, but which did not happen. Okay, so eventually the women were given the right to vote in France in 1946, which is after a long time. Okay, so that is something to think about. Let's come to the 23rd question. We are about to just end, just 2 more questions left. A device consisting of 2 poles and a blade with which a person was beheaded. So like I told you, let's look at this picture. Yeah, you can see this picture. There's this man who is lying down here, right? His head is here. There is this blade. This man is holding the rope. So what is he going to do? He is going to pull the rope, and this blade is going to come and hit him right at the neck. So this head is going to be separated from his body. So he will be beheaded this way. This machine was known as the guillotine. Okay. This another man is already carrying a head in his head. So that means he's already beheaded someone. You see the blade is down, right? Such a barbaric way of killing someone. कितना ज़्यादा भयंकर है ये देखने में, राइट? सो दिस वॉज द गिलेटिन. दिस मशीन वॉज द गिलेटिन. यू ऑफन गेट वन मोर क्वेश्चन, व्हाट वॉज द गिलेटिन? सो यू शुड नो दिस. ओके, and this was basically used a lot during the Jacobin era of 1793 to 94. Robespierre used this a lot. Like I told you, he beheaded anyone who did not listen to the Jacobins or who spoke against the Jacobins. Next, in his book The Spirit of the Laws, Dash talked about the division of power between the legislature, executive and judiciary. So what are these? These are organs of the government: legislature, executive and judiciary. है ना? Legislature makes laws, executive enacts the laws and judiciary protects the laws, right? So this was said by who? Where is it? Montesquieu. Just a moment. This was written by Montesquieu. Okay. Let's come to the next one. Last one. In his book Two Treatises of the Government, Dash refuted the doctrine of the divine and the absolute power of the monarch. किसने बुक लिखी थी ये वाली, द टू ट्रीटिसेस ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, जिसमें उन्होंने जो डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ द डिवाइन, मतलब कि राजा के पास गॉडली पावर्स हैं, दैवीय शक्तियां हैं, और मोनार्क राजा की एब्सोल्यूट पावर के अगेंस्ट रिफ्यूट करा था, उसके खिलाफ बोले थे. वो कौन थे? ही वॉज नन अदर देन जॉन लॉक. ओके, जॉन लॉक. Got it? So this is about it. I think we have completed the worksheet, or MCQs, not the worksheet, I'm sorry. We have completed the MCQs. If you have any doubt or if you have any more questions, please do ask me in the comments. Okay, I will be bringing you more such MCQs and even long answer questions from the chapters in future. Just write in the comment box which chapter would you like me to make the next video on. I will be happy to receive your suggestions, and please subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time. Do take care of yourself. Bye bye.